the use of miniatures, which has been done recently in several films. Obviously, Hereditary comes to mind as the most, I think the most prolific version of that done in a horror movie, especially of blending real size sets and architecture and houses and rooms with miniatures. It's very seamless in that film. It's really terrific.
You see it in the trailer for Heretic too, that they're doing
I saw
model.
that too. Yeah, it seems like they're kind of a little bit of a similar vibe. And then also Game Night does a great job of connecting miniatures to neighborhoods. So the opening of Game Night was the same kind of voyeuristic shot of reverse of this, where Beetlejuice opens with that helicopter shot going over the town, and then the town turns into a miniature. Game Night, it starts as a miniature going into a suburban town, and then it turns into a real neighborhood.
Oh,
so it's actually the reverse of Beetlejuice.
Another Game Night reference.
Any chance I get? That one made sense though.
That was pretty good. Yeah. I can't remember at all what you're talking about, but I believe you.
They live on a cul-de-sac, and it just like the camera pushes. It's clearly a model.
So they made it look like it's a game setting,
exactly,
and then it blends into reality.
And once the camera gets onto the street, then it's a real house now.
Amazing.
So Beetlejuice does the same thing. It's also that great voyeuristic helicopter feel of The Shining. I think that Tim Burton might have been calling back to as well. A little different though, because it's a little more zoomed in. And just the approach of the camera angle of this sky cam just flying over the town, it almost feels like you're a ghost or a spirit looking down, flying over the town, because it's not just straight on shot. It's sort of at an angle, kind of zooming in at or pushing in at specific angles that looks like you're flying, but looking to the right or just looking to the left at something.
I mean, that's one of my favorite aspects to the film, is the perspective where we're following ghosts trying to spook the people living in their home, which was a reverse of what the common ghost story was. And you get that in other films like Ghost, and there's another famous one that I won't spoil because it's the twist. But I do love when the ghost story takes the audience into the perspective of the ghosts and to see that from their side of things, of trying to haunt other people. And also, I just think it lends to making something really refreshing in that kind of a film.
And also blending in even more miniatures in real size houses. I feel like the Dietz's house and obviously the Maitland's house, it looks like sometimes Burton experiments with not letting the audience realize that you're looking at the real size house or the miniature house sometimes for an exterior shot. If it's maybe a moonlit shot or a nighttime shot, sometimes it looks real size, practical size, but then sometimes I was watching, is that actually the miniature version of the house?
I completely agree, and I think
he's messing with you.
I think they're using miniatures about half the time for the exterior shots of the house, especially there's the shots of the red sky, and I think that those are definitely miniature shots of the house that maybe they didn't have time to film, or maybe they just wanted to, like you said, mess with the audience and keep them on your toes by blending more of the shots together so the audience thinks that it is real.
It's sort of unnerving. And still one of the greatest parts of the film, and deservedly so, winning Best Makeup at the Academy Awards, is the makeup, is the prosthetic work, is the gore, the practical effects. Like I said, $50 million budget, $1 million of it went to the visual effects and special effects of this film, which are really excellent and still holding up to today. It still holds up. Even the blue screen, green screen that they were doing when they were in the desert landscape where Shai Hulud, the giant sandworm, coming out, I am Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of Beetlejuice, coming in, stuff like that. So that still looks good. Even when the first time they're trying to scare the Dietzes as they're looking at the home after purchasing it, and we have Gina Davis's Barbara's hanging inside the closet from a coat iron, and then we have she's holding Adam's head that's been severed with a knife. That looks really good. It looks really superb. It still holds up to today. Also, I love the coloring. We have lots of greens, lots of reds, depending on where we are. Beetlejuice's colors clearly seem to be green and red, kind of at a blend, depending on his situation, because he wears red at the wedding, but also has greenish hair and is constantly the miniature model has lots of green light everywhere, like when he comes out of the grave.
I'll tell you why he wears red.
Why does he wear red?
Well, and why it's a red wedding dress. It leans into the famous superstition: if you're married in red, you'll wish you were dead. So that's why Winona Ryder's wedding dress is red.
That's a really good joke. This movie's full of good jokes too, though. Good jokes everywhere. I was cracking
funny.
The hell up.
It still holds up. It's really funny.
Not all of them are gut busting, but they're all good little chuckles here and there.
And he got an F-bomb in there.
Who says the F-bomb? Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice slipped an F-bomb in. Somehow, even back then, they were surprised to pass through with the PG rating with the MPAA. Because the MPAA, as we know it, was really formed 4 years before this movie came out. And so they were much stricter. Somehow, this movie got a pass as a PG, but he dropped an F-bomb where he said, "Nice fucking hotel," and he grabs his crotch. And then he also says an F-bomb again, but when he's falling, but it's more distorted. But the word shit is used a lot. So this is a PG movie where would obviously not just the graphic prosthetics work and the gore on display and just the disturbing character designs that would never fly, but also there's quite a lot of language in this film that would never fly in a PG rated movie.